I want the real stuff, everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I am the Dreadist, and welcome to my humble abode, the shop of all horror and dread. Please take a seat and enjoy the show, because today we are trying to crack a more than 30-year-old puzzle and finish our first playthrough of Myst. But first, let's see who are in my chat. So many wonderful people. Let me see. Welcome in, Link, Zeph, ban first. Zeph, I cannot ban Link. I might need other emoticons in the future, so I can't do that. I'm sorry. I know business is a harsh reality. Let's see. Yes, archery. Very old hobby actually. Been doing it since middle school. Oh, maybe I just missed you ever mentioning it. Or maybe you never mentioned it. Who knows? But I want to keep my back and arm strength up from my my crutches. I see. Or you might need comic art. Yes. Yes. Link has been thinking about offering commissions for comic pages because they want to make me go bankrupt. At least I think that's what is happening. You could, it wouldn't be a good idea. I mean, they just said that they are quite the archer, so who knows? They might want to shoot me. Never mentioned the hobby. Oh. Well, I hope that you're enjoying it. I did read your post about your table situation as well, how you did everything in one day, which I guess is fitting for you. I got the job offer at school assistant. That is wonderful. Congratulations. I was curious if your interview and visit went well, and I guess it did. I am a strong lad too. I do not doubt that. One moment. I just got in the tram after the second visit at the school today and already had the email. Well, I'm sure that you made a great impression on them, if that is the case. And I also hope that you will enjoy the work. You said that it's much better than your previous job was, so hopefully you will have a wonderful time working at a school. But Link, since you are here, I wanted to ask you something, because recently you made a few posts about you playing the remake of Silent Hill 2, and I was wondering, how are you enjoying it? Because I've been playing it on stream, and well, I think it's a heck of a game. The teacher says she would like to have me working there by tomorrow already. Wow. They must have been really impressed by you. That is amazing. I did beat Sad Husband Simulator, and I had a great... Wait, what? You already beat the game? You started much later than I did. How many hours did it take for you to beat this game? Because I feel like I might be a tad bit slow compared to you. Yeah. I'm about to start my second playthrough. How? I spent more than 30 hours in this game and I still not finished with it. You know, it's quite funny because Link stopped by during one of my Silent Hill 2 streams before, and they said that they won't stick around because of the potential spoilers. And look at how the tables have turned. No, they are the spoilers for me! I have 19 hours in it. 19. I am more than 30. How? How did this happen to me? Sorry, I'm having an emotional moment. I start working there next month. Ooh. So I guess they couldn't arrange you starting tomorrow. It would have been a bit quick. I did a lot of screaming and running because I'm afraid of moths and mannequins. Let me think. From the parts I know, yeah, there is a particular room with an M carved into its door. I'm sure you thoroughly enjoyed that place. But mannequins? There are no mannequins in the game. I mean, there are a few set pieces, but there are no mannequin enemies, right? I mean, they kind of sort of look like mannequins, but they are creatures, I think. I have to find a game with proper mannequins. Paperwork is in the way, oh yes. The one with 2 legs together is called mannequins. Oh really? I didn't know that. I never looked up their names because I know for a fact that I would run into some spoilers, so I think the one you're talking about I just called 4 legs? Something like that. But they are a bit like mannequins, but not really. Though I have to say their spider forms are rather annoying, if anything. I had quite a lot of trouble with them. I think I will have a lot of trouble with them. But then I guess it was the perfect game for you. Plenty of mods, plenty of mannequins, and you're starting a second playthrough. So you must have loved it. Is the radio not triggering at first? That caused a lot of scares. Oh yes, they can get around the radio indeed. Isn't that lovely? And they are rather clever about hiding in the best spots. They indeed got me a few times as well. But I love a good duel with them. It's really fun getting some... I wanted to say hand-to-hand combat, but that's not quite right. But my second playthrough will be ending hunting, because I got an ending I didn't want. I actually don't know the endings of the game. I know there are some secret endings, but I don't know how many endings there are. I try to stay clear of all the secrets, even though I know for a fact that I missed some things. So even in my second playthrough, I will have to look around quite a lot. But I congratulate you for finishing the game, and Remake added 2 more endings, making a new total of 7. 7. Well, I guess I will be spending quite a lot of time with this game. I thought there are 2 joke endings. But even without those, that means the original game had 3 serious endings. And now there are 5. I will need a guide to figure this game out, because honestly, up until this point, I don't think I had absolutely any choices. So what affects the ending, I wonder? Well, we will have to figure that out. But I'm happy that you enjoyed the game, and I think you already played F. I don't know anything about that, but I will get to that game in time as well. Based on the information I just learned, it won't be exactly soon, but we'll get there. Do you want a side clue on how the endings are affected? Not yet, thank you. I want to play through the game first, and then I still have things to figure out, honestly. I know for a fact that I missed some areas and some optional things. But I did get a few additional trophies for finding hidden things, so I'm happy about that. F was amazing. Well, that's on my list as well. Whose finger is that? Zeph. That's Zeph's finger. Ah. Oh, no, my nose is all itchy all of a sudden. Stop it. That got me right on the tip of my nose. Yeah. Well, let's see what we have for today. I guess we shall move to the game screen for that. And right here to Myst. Such an old game, and finally we are getting close to its ending. Anyway, gonna melt in the background because it's already so hot. Oh, I didn't know that books have a hard time in hot environments, but makes sense. I hope you find some comfort in the shade. And thank you for dropping by. I made myself a burger. I'm exhausted now. But you have yourself a burger. Now let's see. Myst. Here we go. Again. To be honest, I am also wearing a hoodie and sweatpants because I feel gross in my own body today. Aw, poor Link. I'm sorry about that. But you shouldn't torment yourself wearing all those clothes if you are already feeling hot. Now then, let me get my notes, which I have plenty. Yes, we heard this before. It's alright. We have the book titled Myst. And what we learn from this game, if you just happen to find a book with a little screen in it playing a view of a different world, don't touch it, because you will be teleported to that world. Or do touch it, because of the same reason. Now, where is my load game option? Here it is. A book with a screen in it? Sorry, that's my imagination playing. Well, I guess someone had the same idea some 33 years ago, and they titled it Myst. But I would love to see a game with the same idea, but it would be titled Link. What kind of worlds would there be? I wonder. Yes, let's load. And let's make some sense of all the things we have. Now, first thing first. Magical girls and horror small towns? Wait, that's just my comic. I'm getting more and more intrigued by that comic. Magical girls and horror? That's not a usual mixture. But it has horror in it, so I'm intrigued. Now, we have this lovely white page in our Mets, but one of my viewers, an expert of this game, gave me a bit of hint that I won't be able to use it just yet. So let's return it to the secret vault from where we got it. If you ever want me to ramble about it, I am literally a Discord call away. That is so tempting, you have no idea. I'm an expert too. Oh, on what subject? I'm free all day today. Maybe after I finish my stream. But thank you. So this is where we found the page. But for now, let's leave it here. And get back to one of the ages for the 2 pages we missed there. Everything! Wow! You don't mess around. So we already returned... let me think. 3 red and 3 blue pages, I think, from 3 different ages. And we are missing just 1 pair of pages. And if I'm not mistaken, it's in this age. Surprise guest on stream! It is Link on so much caffeine! Ooh, that's dangerous. So apparently if Link is a book, then if you take a peek inside them, this is what you will see. Unbelievable. My burger is gone! Sad. What happened to your burger? Did you eat it? Now, let's see. Yeah, all good things come to an end. You ate the burger! Books don't eat burgers, don't be silly. Or do they? Are you one of those books with the sharp teeth lining their pages? True, I eat blood red ink. Oh, I could see your beloved cat in the background just running away, hearing that. I do have fangs. A book with fangs. That's a dangerous read. Now, we had 2 pages down. Be right back. Alright. We had 2 pages down in the 2 rooms of the brothers. If you are a book, I can hand you to kids with running noses. Why would you do that? That's a terrible thing. Poor books. Also, I'm not sure if you want Link around kids. They have a... how could I say it? A certain effect on them. They often die. At least in video games. Now, first of all, we have to crank the crank. Yes, we have to do this every single time. There's no getting out of this. I still haven't figured out if there is a direct connection between how long you crank this handle and for how long you have electricity. But we only have to return the 2 pages, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Now then, in each age we found 1 red and 1 blue page. And as I said, we already gathered the ones in the other 3 ages or worlds. We only have to find the missing ones here. And, well, actually, we do know where they are. But first I want to check my way out of here. Because last time when we were here, the light I activated went out, and I am slightly confused. Why? So we just descend into this ship. It's a large ship, don't worry about it. And it's dark. Why is it dark? Outside is so much worse. Are you talking about the temperature? Books shouldn't be outside. They should be cherished and put on a nice wooden bookcase or a shelf. Alright, so we have to fix this. Yes, and it's so fucking sunny outside. My eyes hurt. Well, that's a vampire for you. A vampire book. I actually saw Link's post about this trend on Blue Sky to summarize your gender in 10 words or less, or your character, I think it was, and they wrote vampire book, I think, or vampiric book, and I started wondering, what does that mean? Imagine a book that is a vampire. And so I wondered, how do they feed on blood? Because a vampire needs blood, right? Even a book. But they don't have fangs. And so I figured out their secret. They feed on blood that they get from mortals by paper cuts. Ooh, the true horror. I drink your blood to be the ink in my pages. Oh, that's one way, I guess. So in order for you to create something, you have to drink blood? Now, which one was the right one? I think this. Yep, totally. Great news! Okay, the lights are back. Or the light is back. I guess there's only one. Fear books. No, I love books. I said many times before that I love books and that I'm a bibliophile, but I'm not sure if that's the right message to say when you are around. Now, where was that page? No, that's the wrong direction. Was it here? It's okay, we can platonically hold hands. I'm sorry for the strange question, but do books have hands? Because they do share some similarities with humans. For example, books have spines. Yes, they do. How else am I gonna hold my crutches? Oh, makes sense, yeah. I still have so many things to learn about books, I guess. My legs don't work after all. Oh, yes. I guess books are not that different from other creatures. They have legs, they have arms, eyes, fangs. Okay, that last one is a bit different from humans, I guess. Alright, we have one page. Now we just have to turn the pump back on. And there we go. Great, it's nice and dry. Don't want to soak this page. You can say I'm an open book. Wow. Well, maybe, but I learned that when you're talking to someone in writing, it's rather difficult to really figure out their emotions, so you will have to excuse me when I say that it's a bit difficult to read you at times. Why would I ban you? I love puns, and I'm terrible at them. And look at this, this is a really special kind of book right here. It's hiding in the table. Now really? Okay, it's confirmed. Books have hands. And they can boop. Not that I was particularly interested in knowing this specific thing. And claws. Books have claws as well. And fangs. Are you sure you are a vampire and not a werewolf? I mean, they kind of share those traits. How do you feel about garlic? And the full moon? I'm slightly worried if I move my head, the clothes will get me. So just stab it. Claws and fangs, anything to keep paper cuts out. What? Paper cuts are terrible. Hate full moons and love garlic. Well, that rules out the werewolves. And the vampires. I guess maybe it works differently with books. Yeah, makes sense. You might be a werebook. Whatever that might mean. I fear coffee. But you work off of caffeine, so yeah. Now, let's see. Don't need coffee staining my pages. But those nice vintage yellowed pages and that lovely aroma, brings me back. I love old books. Now let's return this missing page to this book and see what its prisoner has to say.
Finally returned. I owe you a debt of gratitude, for you have nearly released me. My name is Sirius. I trust that from your explorations you've become convinced that my wicked brother Agatha is guilty, and I am innocent. It is I who am wrongly imprisoned here. imprisoned by my father. I don't know who you are, or how you came to this island, but I assume you must at least know something of the books. His father was a master of the books. He wrote hundreds, all describing and linking to the fantastic places and ages which he had discovered. The room in which you now stand was our father's library. It was here in this room, on this island named Myst, that he housed most of these books. But such a waste. By now, you have surely discovered that Achenar has burnt and mutilated most of these books. Why? Our father was always watchful of our exploration. We grew up under his strict supervision. But when we came of age, he gave us unbridled access to the Myst books. He began to leave our adventures more and more unchecked. Unsupervised as we were, my brother began to become disturbed. He began to take more from the Myst ages than he had given. Soon he gained a twisted pleasure from the conquest and destruction of the other ages. It was horrific. This thirst for destruction. But alas, even I discovered his insanity too late. He had completely destroyed all of the Myst ages but 4. I wasted no time. In warning my father, I thought he would recognize Achenar's guilt. But in a fit of rage, he imprisoned both my brother and myself within the pages of these books, designed to hold us until he could judge which of us was guilty. To discover the truth, our father embarked on one final journey. However, he has never returned. I can only assume that he perished along the way, leaving me, an innocent victim, entrapped forever. But now, you are here to release me. Listen carefully. You must find one more page and I will be forever free. There is a book on the shelves. This library, which is mostly burned, but has a few pages still intact. It is the last book on the middle shelf. Find it. This book is filled with a variety of patterns. Find pattern 158 and recreate it on the door of the fireplace. This will bring you to the last red page. Bring that page to me, and I will finally be released and able to reward you, of course. Ignore the blue page. That page finishes my brother's book. It chills me to even think what would happen if you were to release him. There is another warning. Where the red and blue pages reside, also resides a green book. If you touch the green book, you also will be imprisoned forever. Our father gave us this same warning long ago. I suggest you follow his advice. Go now. Soon we will meet face to face.
Intriguing. Incap says hi. Hey, Incap. Oh, so that's why I have headaches. 2 people are trapped in the pages. Well, one person is trapped in the red book and one person is trapped in the blue book. And apparently there's also a green book. I didn't know about that. But we learned a few really interesting things. First of all, the puzzle in the fireplace seems to be the final one to free one of the brothers. And he said that is the middle one? Well, those are all burnt. Illustration 158. Well, we'll figure that out a bit later, because we still have to return the blue page. However, I wonder which brother is really the less evil, because even though this one told us that he is, of course, the innocent victim of all this, I don't really believe him. First of all, the beginning of the story might be true. How they grew up underneath the watchful eyes of their fathers, and then they were given free reins over the ages, and one of them went a bit overboard and took more from the ages than he gave, which is a nice way of wording it. However, he also said that once he discovered this, he warned his father. And I don't think that's true, because I remember that in the father's message, he told his wife that his library was burnt and he is suspicious of one of the boys, but he will make sure to figure out what really happened. Gotta leave for now, but have a great stream. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. So, I don't really think that the story is as clear-cut as this brother made it sound like. Now, it is true that I'm still not sure if there really is an evil brother and the just one. So let's get back the other page and see what the other brother has to say. He's the slightly more disturbed one. And I think because of that, many players would think that indeed he's the one who lost his mind a bit, but I feel like that the person we heard from just now might be more dangerous, because he is calculated and careful with his words. So we have indeed an entire mystery on our hands. The other thing is the father's demise, which is a bit confusing to me, because this brother told me that their father imprisoned both of them and then went on a journey across these ages to figure out what happened exactly, and since he never returned, he probably perished. But what could have killed him? We haven't really found anything even remotely dangerous. So, what happened? We need electricity. Of course. But that is rather suspicious. Why did the father die? I thought that he was actually killed by one of the brothers, but that wouldn't necessarily make sense, because then how did he imprison them in the books? But good to know that there is a fifth page for both of the books, and we will have to find those. And here I was thinking we were mostly done. Now, I think this is the way we have to go now. If I'm not mistaken. Open. Thank you. Here's the blue page. And I think we will find a note somewhere here. I know it was in this world and in one of the rooms. I just have to find it. No, this is a map. Let's try this one. Another map. This one. Another map. How many maps do you have? And why do you need an entire drawer for one map? Oh, this is the half of the mystery page, and that's another map. Alright, so apparently it wasn't here. But where was it? Well, we do have the blue page. And of course, based on the decor, you would think that the brother whose room this was is the more demented one. But I don't think it's that simple. Not at all. So before we return, let's go down into this room, because I think it must have been here. In the in-between room we only have the puzzle that turns the light on. In the lighthouse we didn't have any page, so I'm pretty sure that whatever I read had to be here. Now this is much more lavish than the other room. Even though it's not clearly stated which room belongs to which brother, but I mean, look at all these things. And here we had the fabric with the attacking ship's flag design in the other age, which suggests that whoever lived here worked together with them. Whereas we know that the father tried to save those people. Another dagger, but nothing else. Where could I have read that note? Great question. And a great mystery. But hey, we'll figure out things. Hopefully. First we have to switch the pump. There we go. And go back. No. Go back. And right here, maybe I read something in here. Might be. My memory is not as great as it once was. Oh, come on. Why is it off? Do I have to activate this darn thing every single time? Okay. That's fine. Turn the switch. I only hope that the electricity will last. Because I don't want to go back cranking. Alright. Where's that door? There it is. Hey, open up. Thank you. Alrighty. We just have to press the right one, which is this. Come on. There you go. I think we did it. Okay. Yep, it's on. Wonderful. On we go. Wait, no, wrong way. But if I'm here, I might as well check. Does it at least stay on? Yeah, and it turns even back because I pressed it once more. Well, alright. We have the light on. That's good. Now we turn around and go up. Up we go. Yeah, I know I can just walk down there. I have to go back. Switch the thing. Oh, it's so much extra work. Why do I think I will not be rewarded for my troubles whatsoever by these two brothers? Finally, I can see something. I don't think that I saw anything that could be read here, to be honest. But, I mean, let's look around. Can't go there. No, I really don't remember where I found that page that talked about their father's demise. Unfortunate, but we'll make it work somehow. Nah, give me that book. I'm pretty sure this brother will also tell us how to get the last page, so now I will have to pay more attention which book exactly we need to look for. Now, Toke!
Hello, I'm Akana. I'm glad to see that you've returned to help me escape from my wrongful imprisonment. It was Cirrus who did this to me. Cirrus, my wicked brother. Do not listen to him. I warn you. He's a liar. Do not be persuaded by his evil lies. Do not release him. He killed my father. He will kill you. Began when my brother Cirrus began to lust for riches. He stole from the ages of Myst. He hoarded riches for himself. My father slept away his watchfulness. My sick brother secretly pronounced himself king. King of the ages of Myst, he said. He began to look upon me in disgust. His lowly brother. He hated him. And then Cirrus began to destroy the ages of Myst. He burned their forest. He tore down their structures. He flooded their lands. He murdered their inhabitants. He destroyed all but 4 of the ages. Of course, I had to warn father. When I finally found him, there was Cirrus also, talking cleverly. The lying tongue of a serpent. He had convinced father that it was I who destroyed the ages. He convinced father that it was I who was greedy for wealth and plunder. And as Cirrus dealt the final blow, he tricked father into believing that I was the murderer. But Cirrus did not deal as fast a blow as he planned. And his father died a slow death. He at last doubted my brother's clever lies, and so in dying, father imprisoned us both. Unsure from which of us the blow had come. I swear to you what I say is true. Release me. You must release me. My brother is a deceitful liar and deserves punishment. I only wish vengeance for my dear father. His murder. Believe me. You must only recover 1 additional page to release me from this prison. It's the easiest to find. Go to the bookshelf. It's in this library. On the far right side of the middle shelf, there's a burned book, which is different from the other burned books. This book is filled with patterns. Find pattern 158. Mimic its design on the panel in the fireplace. Doing this will bring you to the last blue page. Remember, don't take the red page. Only the blue page. Return quickly to me. And do not touch the green book. It's a clever trap to imprison those who have not been warned. Do not be tempted, for you will rot and die, imprisoned as I am. I tell you, if you follow my instructions, it will be well worth your while. I promise you that. Go. Go.
Ooh, we have a real mystery on our hands. But this is rather interesting, because what they said certainly don't add up. But certain parts do make sense. And as much as I might be biased towards the more crazy of the brothers, what he said is more logical. For example, how the other brother was hoarding riches, which we've seen throughout the ages. It also explains why we never met anyone, because he killed the inhabitants, and why both of them are imprisoned. because before their father died, he imprisoned both of them. And that also explains who killed the father. Well, one of them, at least we know that. And whereas one of the brothers didn't really mention any of the darker truths, this one did. Now, one part that is the same is how to get the last page or pages. Go to the shelf, and on the far right there will be a book on the middle shelf. A tale for the ages, and I certainly did not look at this one. Really cleverly hidden. I wouldn't be surprised if this was here all along, but honestly, after looking at a few of the books, I just surmise that they are all burnt to a crisp. So we have to look for pattern 158. There will seriously be that many pages. Of course. This is why I love old games. Because all of this makes absolutely no sense. They are completely and utterly useless. But if you happen to find the puzzle in the fireplace before you get to this point in the story, and also somehow discover this book, then you might figure out that you have to copy these patterns, so you would start doing that. But how can the developers make sure that you don't break the flow of the game and get the last pages before you're actually told where they are and that you should get them? And even learn about their existence, because up until this point I believe that there are only 4 pages of each color and 1 in each specific age. So what did the developers do? They created more than 100 patterns, because if you just try them one by one, you will probably give up before you get to 158. If you try randomly, I mean, you might find the right one, but the chances are, let's say, slim. How many patterns are there? 200? More than 200! Okay, I'm too curious. I will check. I will check them all. We might be here for an hour. I don't know. This might be the longest book in history. Who knows? I might get a trophy for getting to the last page. I probably won't. 300! They created 300 patterns just to make sure that if someone, by pure chance of luck or brilliance, finds this book hidden along all of the other burned ones, finds the hidden switch in the fireplace, figures out that they have to copy the pattern from here to there, they still wouldn't be able to know which one. That is dedication. Well, let's find what we need. Oops, that's a bit too early there. If you keep pressing instead of just going one by one, you actually skip pages. Interesting. Alright, here we go. This is pattern 158. This is 56. Come on. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 6 rectangle. Just a moment, I'm drawing. Yes, I am drawing a rectangle. Now, let's see. We need this one, the top left. This reminds me of Tetris, honestly. These ones, then across. Then there is one just kind of floating. And then there is a 2x4 in the top right corner. Okay, and then we have a 1x4 in the bottom left corner. Yes, and then 2 next to it, and then a long part. Okay, this will be fun. Then we have one up, one next to it, and one in almost the bottom right corner. Lovely. We got four trophies? No, 3 trophies already today. But I'm going for the 4th. Alright. I want to get out of here. Thank you. Now, first things first, I will save, because I might need to look around a bit in the different ages just to make sure that I am making the right decision. However, there is one really interesting part of what the brothers said, and that is the existence of a green book. No, they both said that we shouldn't touch the green book because it's a trap and we will be imprisoned in the green book if we touch it. However, one of the brothers also mentioned that their father gave this same warning to them. So what's happening here, in my opinion, is that they are giving this warning based on what their father told them. because they know if we get trapped, they will remain imprisoned. So they try to make sure that we can return their respective page. But what if their father lied to them? What if the green book is somehow special and he didn't want to entrust that kind of power onto his sons? That could be it. It's a risky idea, but it could work. Now, let's see. Okay. Oh, Vivian! With the raid! Welcome in, Vivian! Thank you so much. To those who might not know me, I am the Dreadist, a monster researching horror, and right now trying to reach the ending of this wonderful old game called Myst. But let me see, you were playing Mario Kart V, I see once again. Vroom vroom. How did it go? The goats are invading your pitch. There are goats everywhere. How's it going today? It's going quite well. I am just trying to figure out what kind of a decision I should make at the end of the game. I feel like there are multiple endings and I want to get the right one. It went well, thank you. Oh, that's great. Today was a silly card and we got the record for the character combo. You did! That's great news! I'm done with filling out my paperwork now. That's also great news. You see, that burger was worth it. Gave you all the energy to finish the paperwork. But there was one particular chain chomp which made it a personal mission to wreck my day whenever I got close to a faster time. Oh yes, that sounds a bit like the penguins the other day. They tried to ruin your runs quite a few times as well. But I'm happy that you got the record. That's no small feat. There's often something, yes, there's always something trying to ruin your perfect run. But hey, if it makes you feel any better, they are probably doing it just the same to all the other players. Sometimes it's an enemy, sometimes it's a wall, sometimes it's just a hole in the ground that you keep falling into. I guess that's something kind of universal across racing games. Very true, as the obstacles are the same for everyone. Even though I think it's kind of a personal thing what you find the most difficult in a given race or on a track. Some would say a part is really easy and the other one is the hardest element. Another player will say it's the other way around. Everyone has their own strong points and shortcomings as well. But you managed to triumph over all of the obstacles and you got a record. Congratulations for that. I have seen your your previous videos that you posted, and they are really impressive. I never played this game, or really any of the Nintendo racing games, but it does look rather fun. Not fun enough for me to actually try, because I have a how could I say it? A kind of losing streak when it comes to these non-realistic racing games. I played one of the Sonic racing games. I tried to get the platinum, and it got so difficult that I honestly could not finish all the challenges. Then there was an open world Lego racing game. I think it was called 2K Drive, something like that. And I was doing pretty decently. I couldn't do the really crazy time trials, but I got everything that I had to for the trophies. And around 2/3 into the game, I collected everything in a given area, and I didn't get the trophy. Turns out it is bugged, and so what you have to do in order to make sure you don't get screwed is save ahead of doing it. And well, I didn't do that, so I would need to restart from nothing, which I will not do. It took like 20 hours just grinding my way through the game, because there are races, there are so many hidden collectibles and things, jumps, things to destroy, and I was like, nah, this is not for me. And so I feel like every time I pick up one of these wacky racing games, I just end up losing. For me, it's the opposite. I can't deal with the real-life racers. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm even worse in those. I don't even start anything with real racing games. The only one I played, which, well, it's up for debate how realistic it is, was called Burnout Paradise. I actually almost got all of the achievements in that game, I think, but it was working through the EA systems and Steam, and it had multiplayer, and really nothing worked by the end of it. So yeah, I kind of sort of gave up on that. Let me see. Is it Revolt by any chance? I don't think I ever played that game, but I will look into it in a moment. Let me see. Revolt. No, I've never played this game. I've seen its logo before, but it actually reminds me of another racing game that I tried, the Hot Wheels Unleashed, the first one. I also tried that one, and I couldn't platinum that either. So yeah, it's 043. Not great. Stop it! With the boobs. Oh, that sounds horrible. Yes, it was a bit. Who knows, maybe Mario Kart is the one. Perhaps. I don't have the console to play it, unfortunately. That's one that I might check out one of these days. Well, I wish you the best with any kind of racing game, because, as I said, I'm not good at those. But Burnout is indeed a good one. I really enjoyed that. I do like silly racers like that. Yeah, they can be fun, but for me it's always odd because they seem like silly racers made for children, and then they turn out to be extremely difficult. Like in Hot Wheels Unleashed, I started playing it and I thought, this is kind of a marketing game. Alright, let's play it. And the time trials were insane. I actually couldn't even imagine how to get the times that the game asks for. And so I looked at guides and videos, and they were filled with crazy jumps and shortcuts, and I was like, is this what the developers had in mind? How would a kid ever figure this out? I mean, I couldn't figure this out, mostly because I honestly didn't even think of anything crazy like that. Lurk going to make some tea and unwind. That's a wonderful idea, and thank you once again for the raid. Now let's see what happens if we put this code in. Now the question is, the markings in the book where the grid had darker areas, are those the indentations or the flat areas? Now I feel like, following my logic, whatever is marked as extra in the book is what you actually have to interact with. So I will say the darker spots were these. And if that's right, then I have to do something like this. No, not there. Nope. Alright, and then we have it like this. Wonderful. Almost there. Nope. I'm curious, will these just activate automatically if I input the right pattern, or I have to click on something? I don't really have any additional buttons. Now, let's see. I think this is it. Maybe not. I do believe this is it. So press this. Ooh, a hidden area. And indeed, there's the green book and the 2 pages. What to do? Okay, I can go back. That's good. But I think it is time for a bit of a detective work to figure out just who was in the wrong. And for that we will have to visit a few areas, but that's fine. First of all, we had this. So this was the father's message to his wife. But this has no information that could help us other than that the message that he left is of the utmost importance. So let's go and listen to that message once again. And we can do that right here. I think this should be working. All right.
Catherine, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine, it's one of our sons. I suspect Achenar, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return. But if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, wait, and erase this message after you viewed it, just to be safe.
So we have the mention of Achenar and Cirrus, and he says that he suspects Achenar to be behind the burning of the books, but he wants to make sure. Now I do believe that he is the one imprisoned in the blue book. We still don't know what to do with this, by the way. But let's see, what could we do? I think we should go to the fortress. Because in the fortress there was a letter that was sent from one brother to the other, and that might help us a bit. All right. Yes, there's the book that lets us go back, so it won't take as long as before. Now here we have the two chambers of the two brothers. It is not clearly stated which chamber belongs to which brother. The trophies can actually help a bit here because in certain cases, their description mentions which brother's room you did a certain thing or uncovered something. But I will try not to use that knowledge. And to be honest, I've already forgotten. So let's see. This was a rather strange place. With the torture chamber and all. And now that I think about it, we found the pages in specific areas. So maybe that's the hint that you find a certain brother's page in their own room or chamber or whatever area is dedicated to them in a certain age. That could be it. Here I want to say the blue page was here. Actually, it was hidden in the torture chamber, which is not the best first impression for sure. But I feel like that it lines up with what we learned about. Because you see, this is the throne of, I would want to say, Cirrus. And Achenar mentioned how he declared himself as the king of the ages. And here you can see statues representing certain ages, like the rocket and the ship. And it's a rather fancy place. No, it is true, we have these shapes that I never figured out what they do. Maybe they don't do anything, but light up. But this chamber is much more luxurious than the other. And I think in this hidden part we find even more gold and money stored away. Here we have wine bottles. And I think we can even open one of the chests. Yes, here's all the gold and coins. And here's the letter that I mentioned. From Achenar to Cirrus. Your greed sickens me. Your desire for wealth and plunder is never satisfied. I will instruct my subjects not to pay your new tax, and you know they will listen to me. Regards, Achenar. So I do believe Cirrus, the one who is in the Red Book, is the brother who was obsessed with wealth and power. And I mean, look at these paintings of great rulers. it lines up with what Eshenar told us about him. On the other hand, Eshenar, who is in the Blue Book, seems to be slightly strange. He is rather interested in the inhabitants of the ages and their history. For example, I think in one of the ages with the tree houses, we can find a recording of him that has him chanting and murmuring, and at first it's rather strange, but then there is a recording there of Cirrus, and I think he mocks Eshenar about how he is trying to learn the language of the tree dwellers. So all those chantings and murmurings, that was their language. So again, he tries to understand these creatures. And I think he was also the one who built the lighthouse, and who said that for him, even though at first he did try to create that ship that was broken by the jagged rocks on that island, he found it much more satisfying to actually build a lighthouse with his own hands by working together with the locals. Welcome in, Elior. So I think Eshenar might be strange, but not necessarily evil. Now, you can say, and rightfully so, why does he have a torture chamber? But I mean, can't he have a hobby? I mean, let's not judge him harshly. So I would want to say that as much as on the surface Cirrus seems to be the safer choice, because, well, Eshenar is a bit strange, and let's be honest, Cirrus is a smooth talker. If you look into all the details, you will quickly realize that Cirrus might be lying here and there, and he might be a bit power hungry. Oh, Sodakoda, welcome in. Why would he have a torture chamber? Seems normal to me. Exactly. I'm really trying to turn around here, but I don't know where to go. There we go. Oh, forgot. Thank you for the daily check-in. Who's booping me now? Come on. It's the third person today. Melior, would you like to say something? You know, you can just write it in chat and not need to boop my nose. Oh, come on. Only one boop at a time. Thank you, Vivian. I appreciate that you care about me as well, not only my nose. It's nice. Now stop that. Let me take my... Why did I say that? Thank you for the hydrate. I greatly appreciate it. I do have to say that I prefer my sweet tea with sugar instead of booping, but I'm welcome. Thank you so much. You really shouldn't have. But now that I think about it, your finger looks extremely delicious. It's been a while since I tasted goat. So maybe I get a bit of a snack with my tea as well. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Smells nice. Oh no, big rose finger. Oh no, please. Carry on. I'm getting hungry by the second. What tea do you have? My usual sweet tea. Nothing special. Just an average black tea blend. Now, take away your finger before I do. The things I put up with. Now then, let's go and let's see if my idea makes sense. More specifically, that indeed the developers cleverly made Sirius's character more appealing at first, even going as far as having the father mention Ashenar's name in the message to his wife, putting the blame on him initially, and in reality hiding the truth in the details as you go through the different words and learn about what happened there along the way, and more importantly, collecting not only the red but the blue pages as well, because here's the thing, you can only carry one page at a time. So if you want to collect both colored pages from a specific age, you have to go there, pick up one of the pages, come back here, place it in its respective book, and then go back and do it again. So that's extra time, and that's a bit bothersome. So some people, some players might have thought from the beginning that Sirius was the good guy, especially because when you insert the first page, which I think is actually right here in this library next to the books, Ashenar talks a bit irrationally. He is a bit strange, even though he's always a bit strange. So some people might have just went for the red pages and left the blue ones. But if you collect those as well and you get to this point where I am, he actually makes a pretty good case against Sirius, explaining mostly what happened, and it makes sense. Though I have to admit, the names of the trophies also help a bit, because they kind of foreshadow what kind of characters they are. But I would say that our best bet is to go with the blue page. And I mean, Ashnar is kind of a strange person, and I am a kind of weirdo myself. So let's see. Fun fact, I'm actually not looking at my notes, I just kind of remember the pattern, which is strange. Is it strange that I entered this pattern once and now I kind of know it already? Even though I'm missing something. Yeah, I think this was it. Let's try. Apparently I got it right. Yeah, I have memory. Okay, now let's go for the blue page, which looks... Why does it look yellow? Well, that's blue, that's red. So is that the page? No, this is the page. That's just the light reflecting off of it? Slightly strange, but that's fine. Well, we have the page. Let's return it. I'm curious if both endings, both obvious endings, will be bad for us. Because it could be. I'm pretty sure if we choose Sirius, he would possibly kill us. The green book is a good question. It could be either really just a trap, and if we go against the warnings, then, well, we kind of deserve it, and it's a kind of joke on behalf of the developers. But it could also be a kind of secret little ending where you get your hands on the most powerful book, perhaps, as I talked about it before. But as a first playthrough, I kind of want to go with the less risky ending. So let's see what we get here. Here goes nothing, or rather, quite a lot.
Oh, yes, I'm free. Oh, I feel alive. And how do you feel, my friend? Oh, and whatever here, perhaps the pages you work so hard for. Whoops. Yes. Oh. Perhaps You're seeing the world from my point of view. Yes. Oh. Sitters. Yes. That's my brother. Oh, yes. Maybe someone will rescue you someday. You lose.
You lose. Wow. I can say that I didn't expect that. Even though out of the two brothers, I felt like we might get a good ending with Ashenar, but apparently no. We rescued him just to get trapped and imprisoned in the same book, and he one by one removed the pages that we worked so hard to return. And who knows, as he said, one day someone might rescue us too. I mean, that is certainly a surprise ending, but I can't really say that I feel like I made the wrong choice. It is true that I might have missed details. There was that note that I mentioned that I couldn't find, and also I unfortunately skipped watching a few of the videos whenever I returned a page to a book, because I couldn't really understand what they were saying earlier on because of all the static, and also I kind of assumed that they were repeating the same things. That is my fault for sure. Oh, I hate that. I think you're talking about the static, and indeed it's a bit annoying, especially because it's rather loud compared to the dialogue. And as I said, one thing that this game in a remake could greatly benefit from is subtitles, and also options to set the volume of the music, the sound effects, and the dialogue, because I kind of missed out on a few details due to not really hearing what characters were saying. For example, in the opening animation, I was really struggling to understand the narrator, and later on, when I listened to it again on the stream, I could kind of make out a few words here and there, but I'm still not sure of the entire story. But as I said, I don't really feel like I made the wrong choice based on the information that I had, because we have kind of 3 choices: 1 to free Cirrus, 1 to free Ashenar, and 1 to touch the green book. And in case of the green book, we are warned that we will get trapped within it if we put our hands on it. So that's not really a good ending. With Cirrus, I kind of expect to get murdered or imprisoned, and we got trapped with Ashenar as well, so there isn't really a good ending here that I can foresee, except if I'm right about the green book. But I guess first we have to see what Cirrus has in store. It's also interesting how tiny the cutscene was, because once again that was a real world recording, and I'm assuming that because of the technical limitations of the hardware, be that the original Macintosh that this game was released on, or maybe the PlayStation, the port of which I'm playing right now, they had to really squeeze the video into a tiny window to make it work, lower the resolution so it could not only fit on a disc, but allow the reader, the disk drive, to read it quickly enough so it can be played. And that makes sense. However, it kind of surprised me because up until this point, we've seen similar videos playing within the books. And so I didn't really think much of their size, because it made sense. It's in the book. It's a tiny window into another world. But as it turns out, that was once again more of a limitation that the developers really cleverly handled and presented in a way so it's not obvious to the player that, oh, the video is this tiny, because otherwise the size of the file would be too great. But I guess here with the ending, they couldn't really do that, even though they could have done it in a way that we are looking at a book, once again the same book, just from the other side of that book. However, I think that might have confused people a bit, because here with the dialogue it was explained that the two characters kind of switched places, and how he removed the pages made it understandable that the player character is now logged in the book, but if we were to look at the pages of the book the same way, that might have been a bit confusing, because you would be on the other side of the page. So how would you show that visually? I mean, you could show the cover of the book, but that wouldn't make sense, because as we traveled 2 ages and back, we've seen that there's a book on either end, and you just have to open it and there's your little window into the other world or age. So here it would be the same, and I guess they didn't want to make the ending animation or cutscene mostly look at a blank book page. So let's see, what will Cirrus do, because we got played here and we got to see the world through Eshenar's perspective, just a tiny window. Though in a way, even with the technical limitations, I think it was a really good idea to make the cutscene this tiny, because it makes it look rather claustrophobic, and that plays nicely with the idea of being entrapped within the book. Like you are looking out from the darkness, and this tiny window, your only way back to be free, to Myst Island, and even that view is getting destroyed by the static as the pages are one by one removed. So it's a really, really clever idea, and I greatly appreciate how the developers made the ending a bit of a surprise. Even though, again, maybe to some players who were way more attentive to me, this ending didn't come as much of a surprise. To me, it kind of did. So let's see the red page. I'm pretty sure I will get murdered here. If not, that will be another surprise. Because as much as I wasn't sure whether or not Eshenar is the good guy, I am pretty sure that Cirrus is not. I hope you're into books. Oh, what a personal question, but yes I am.
Oh, yes! Yes, I'm free! Oh, thank you, my friend. My dear friend. You've done the right thing. You stupid fool! It looks like perhaps you're in the book now. And what have we here? A page. Oh no. I hope you enjoy your new home as much as I enjoyed it.
I can't see you. You're getting less clear. I hope you're in the books. The library looks much the same as I left. Oh, I can know. Goodbye.
Well, that didn't surprise me. He didn't get killed. So I guess that's good. We're trapped in a book instead. Hope there's a lot to read there. With that, I guess we realized it's somewhat obvious that both of the brothers are somewhat evil, and freeing either of them will grant us a rather bad ending. So what to do next? Well, my best guess is go for the green book. I mean, maybe we will get trapped, but it kind of beats the alternatives. No, not there. Oh, come on. Okay, one here and here and there and here and there. Not there. Alrighty. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this will also lead to a bad ending, but I have an additional idea. Let's see. Well, we are okay so far. The father?
You. Don't come here to Dunny. Not yet. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend. As you no doubt have for me. Where should I begin? Oh. Perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I fear you've met my sons, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Myst Island. In my library. Oh, it contains my works, my writings. Oh, I wrote many books that linked me to fantastic places. It's an art I learned from my father many years ago. Oh, but the red and blue books, those were different. I wrote those books to entrap over-greedy explorers that might stumble upon my island of Myst. But I had no idea my own sons would be entrapped. My sons, Cirrus and Achenar, we had many journeys together. I gave them free rein to the books. Perhaps it was not wise. I could see the greed growing in them. I had them about the red and blue books. Their imaginations went wild. They dreamed of riches and power. Of course, they did not know the books were traps. They begged me for access to those books, and I, of course, denied them. They devised a plan, an evil plan. I had no idea to what extent their greed had progressed. Their own mother. They used their own mother. Oh, my dear Catherine. To lure me here to Dunny. Of course, I could return to Myst, except that they removed a single page from my Myst linking book. I cannot return without that page. You, my friend, can bring that page to me. Oh, I pray you believe my story above the lies that my sons have told you. If you could find it in yourself to return that page to me here in Dunny, I could go to Myst and bring justice to my sons for what they've done. I must return to my writing. I pray that you believe me. Please hurry. Bring the page. Bring the page with you.
How clever. How clever indeed. So, the two brothers work together to a certain extent because they both wanted to have access to the special books, the colored ones, the red and the blue. But of course, their father denied their request. And so they lured him to a different age by using their mother, which actually begs the question, where is she? Where is his wife? That is never explained. But when the father went to this age, the boys removed a page from his book, so he couldn't return, and that's the white page. And I guess what they did, they had the instructions on where or how to find that page and tore it into two pieces and hid it in different parts of two different ages. Even though right now I can't quite remember where they were. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was in rooms of the two brothers. But it does seem that they work together at that point to get their father away from the library, and then they finally got their wish granted and got the books. Except the books ended up trapping them. It's interesting. Though I'm not sure where did the idea of or the story of their father being killed come from. It's not exactly explained, or not clear to me at least. And the other thing, did this happen after the library was burned down? Because if yes, if this is after that, then how it happened is the brothers burnt the library, then the father learns about that, leaves the message to his wife how he will lock away the books and go and find the two sons, and perhaps after that the brothers convince their mother to call their father into another age, which she does for some reason, and then they trap him there by removing this very page. And then they get their hands on the books and they get entrapped themselves. That would make some sort of sense. But I do like how the developers rather cleverly ensured to a degree that the players would choose one or the other brother's book first before looking at the green one, because that was the only one thing pretty much that the brothers agreed on, that we shouldn't touch the green book. And because their story was the same, their explanation why not to do it was the same, I thought they are warning me, because otherwise if we get trapped they won't be freed. But as it turns out, they fabricated this story that it's a trap. In a way they used real life and as an inspiration, because their father indeed had books that were traps, the red and the blue one. So it makes sense that the green one would be similar. But they did that because if you look at the green book and talk to the father, who is supposed to be dead, so you're not even looking for him, then you might realize that both of the brothers are involved in whatever happened here. It's not just one of them who was evil to some degree, even though it's still a good question if they were at odds with each other, because throughout our adventure it kind of sounded like they didn't like each other that much, so they might have created this scheme together to get their father out of their way, but they were still fighting for the power over the ages, and I'm assuming Myst Island. So it's an interesting twist. I do like that. And now we get to see the third ending, and to me it seems like that this is the last of the endings, because I originally thought that touching the green book would indeed trigger a trap, but if we bring this page there, maybe something different would happen. That was my original idea, and it seems I was right to a certain degree, even though still the game surprised me because there was no trap whatsoever. So let's see if we actually get a happy ending here. Is that a secret ending? To a certain degree, I would say yes. Even though you could get it in your first playthrough, but it's a bit tricky to do so, because you are warned about not touching the green book, and to get this ending you have to do that. You have to interact with the green book, talk to the father, who tells you that there is one page missing, and you have to find it. However, you do not get any hints or instructions as to how you should do that, which is actually interesting. So you have to figure out where this page is. And how you do that is by finding two sides of a piece of paper, a torn sides of a piece of paper in two different ages throughout the game. And if you read the text on them, that will tell you that there is a secret vault on the safe, or on this island, and if you open that safe, you will find a page. Now, what is funny is that I kind of did it backwards, because when I found the second torn piece of paper, I went back for the first, I read the instructions, and I found this page, and I tried to do something with it, but I couldn't. And so now that I was asked to return a page, I knew right away where it was. But otherwise, if you kind of go along with the story and not necessarily pay extra attention to these parts, then when the father tells you to find the page, I'm sure it would be a bit interesting to figure out where it is exactly. Even though there are not many notes in the game that you can read that are not right away needed to solve a puzzle, so they kind of stick out. But then again, they are hidden in the environment. You have to open all the drawers, all the boxes that you can, and see what you can find. So it's kind of a hidden part of the game, and I do like that. And really cleverly, again, the developers tell you about a possible third ending as part of reaching one of the first two. because you have to get to this hidden room behind the fireplace to get one of the last pages, either the blue or the red one, for the first two endings. And the green book is there. So if you interact with it, you will know that there is a third one. So it's not like with some other games, when you play through the game, you get the ending or the obvious two endings, and then you hear that there's a third or fourth or a fifth one, and you're like, I finished the game. I played through the entirety of it. And I had no clue that there was more to it. Here they gave you a hint that there's more to the game. There's more in these worlds than you think. And I think that's clever. Because it pushes you to play it again. So it's good for replayability. But also, let's not forget that back in the day, you didn't have internet and guides and whatnot and walkthroughs. So overly hiding parts of your game wasn't necessarily a good idea. I think here they gave enough of a hint that the players would know that there's a point to replaying the game again. Is this the right pattern? I think it is. Well, let's see. This is it, the third ending, and I think the last one. Oh.
Have you found the missing page? Come.
Interesting. Unlike with
Come on, then.
the red and the blue books, here we don't put the page back right away. We get this little extra interaction. Well, let's see what will happen. Hopefully we won't get trapped in yet another book. I mean, he's in another world, so who knows? Maybe we will go there. And apparently I have to interact with the little window instead of the page itself.
Have you found the missing page? Come.
Oh, great. While the demonstration part was playing in the main menu, I wanted to say that I do not recognize this part, but apparently it's right here. Okay, what is this place? Not much I can do. Can I maybe walk around? Oh, I can! Not much of a point to it, but yes, I can. Well, here's your page.
Yeah. Ah, my friend. You've returned. And the page, did you bring the page? Ah, give it to me. You've done the right thing. I have a difficult choice to make. My sons have betrayed me. I know what I must do. I shall return shortly.
Oh great, he left us here. Now let me guess. While he is gone and dealing with his sons, we will be able to look around here and learn that he's also evil. Wait, I can't move.
It is done. I have many questions for you, my friend. But my writing cannot wait. I fear that my long delay may have already had a catastrophic impact on the world in which my wife, Catherine, is now being held hostage.
So she's alive.
And reward, I'm sorry, but all I have to offer you is the library on the island of Myst, the books that are contained there. Feel free to explore at your leisure. I hope you find your explorations satisfying. You will no longer have my sons to deal with.
Is this turning into an open world game?
And one more favor. I am fighting a foe much greater than my sons could even imagine. At some point in the future, I may find it necessary to request your assistance. Until that point, feel free to enjoy the explorations from my library on Myst. Thank you again.
Are the developers hinting at the Myst too? Because that sure sounded like it. Cheeky developers they are.
Book. You can use the Myst linking book to return to Myst.
Thank you, but I still can't move. I think. Oh, I can. Lovely. So we are not returning to our own world, it seems. We are kind of stuck in Myst. But we can freely go around and go on adventures and all that. That's great. There's not much I can do here. It seems. I can turn around, I can look at things, even though there's not much to look at here. However, we finally got some information about his wife, so she is alive, but trapped in yet another world. Is there anything here that is worth looking at? Symbols on the walls. I can't quite see anything. There is this mosaic in the middle of the floor, but I can't look at that. And I can't go there to look at the bookshelf. I think that is a bookshelf there. So, thank you. Give me the book. Let's see. Let's go back to Myst. So we are back here. And Wow. Okay, that book is gone. And that book is gone. When he said, I will have to go, like, as in he has to go and do what he has to, I was a bit confused because his sons were already imprisoned in the books. He didn't really have to do anything, but apparently he chose the final solution. Now, did anything change out here? Or really anywhere? Because the thing is, there wasn't exactly any location that I couldn't reach or access because of the brothers. So now that they are gone, I don't really have anything that I can do that I couldn't do before. And the fact that I was able to reach the father means that I gathered the white page, so I visited at least 2 of the ages, found the 2 torn pieces of the instructions, and I followed them. So indeed it could be that I didn't look around everywhere or recovered all of the red and blue pages, but even if I miss them, I don't really have a place to bring them back to. Because, you know, the books are gone. So, as much as I do like that the developers allowed the players to look around and explore even after the ending of the game, and indeed the game turned into kind of an open world one by the end, even more so than before. In my case, there's not much I can do. Of course, I could go back and read all the notes again and maybe find the hidden little details that could have hinted at both of the brothers being in the wrong, but not much more. I guess it's time to look at the trophies and see if I missed something. I'm pretty sure I did, but that's the one thing that I can do. Other than that, I mostly looked at everything. I completed all the puzzles that I could find. This fireplace one was kind of the last that I discovered but didn't know what it was for. And the white page, but as it turns out they were connected. So what could I do here? I do have to say that the father's area is a bit suspicious to me, but I couldn't find anything there. What else could I do? What could be hidden? I mean, something could have appeared or changed now that the game is over. But honestly, I wouldn't want to go through everything that I've discovered up until this point just to test that theory, especially because it would be extremely boring to watch and also to do, to be honest. It would mostly be me just redoing everything that I've done before and hoping that I find something that I either missed or wasn't there initially when I visited a certain area or age. Something that appeared since as a secret. Was there anything that I missed? Also, what is that? What is that little thing there? There is a little thing there. What does that mean? Is that a hint? Because this could be like a compass. A strange compass, but a compass nonetheless. And it's divided into 60 degrees. So this would be 60, 180... No, that's not 60 degrees. That's 45 degrees. No, it's not even that. No, it is 60. Yes, yes. 60, 120, 180, 240 degrees. What is that? Little marking. If you look at it as a compass, then this is north. What does that mean? Then that is southwest. It might be pointing at something within this room. But in that case, it's pointing at this painting, which opens this hidden door behind the shelves, but I already knew that. So maybe it's a hint that I missed to a puzzle that I already finished, which honestly would be fitting. Ah, goodness, let's see. "19 out of 21, so I only missed one and the platinum. So these were the Tower of Secrets, ascend the tower on the island of Myst. That's in the beginning, that's when we start. Something terrible has happened. Retrieve a message inside the fourth chamber, that is the one that we watched. The message from the father to his wife. Also, I noticed that many of the trophy titles are actually quotes from the game. Shifting gears is linked to the mechanical age, and then slot into place, return from the mechanical age. I'm curious if the order of trophies here reflects the intended order of visiting the ages. Maybe. A fine vessel linked to the stone ship age. Cut through the darkness, return from the stone ship age. Get to the root, link to the channelwood age. Among the trees, return from the channelwood age. A pleasant melody linked to the Selenitic age. And cavernous flow, return from the Selenitic age. So these 10 are kind of playing through the game and exploring the words to a certain degree, solving most of the puzzles. 2 in the beginning of Myst Island, and then 8 in total for the 4 ages, 1 for linking and 1 from returning from each. Then we have Silver Tongue, listen to Cirrus's story, and this is what I meant that the trophy title somewhat hints at the fact that Cirrus might be a bit untrustworthy. Dire Warning, listen to Ashenar's story, or Akenar's story. I might be pronouncing their names awfully incorrectly. I do apologize for that. I hope you're into books. Return all the red pages to the red book. See the world from my point of view. Return all of the blue pages to the blue book. Okay, so we have 1 trophy for gathering the 4 red pages from the ages and then listening to Cirrus, and we have the same for Ashenar. And then we have a trophy for returning the last or all of the pages to the red book and then all of the pages to the blue. I know what I must do. Return the white page to Atros. I will be honest, I didn't even try to learn the father's name. I do believe the mother's name is Catherine, but I'm not even sure. Most of the text is written in a rather decorated font, and it's quite difficult for me to read them. Oh, Schmoozer, thank you for the hydrate and the stretch. I'm drinking, thank you very much. But I do appreciate the head massage. That's rather nice. Bit of relaxation. Now that the most stressful part of the game begins, looking for the last trophy, which is worth 2%. Thank you. How are you doing? I'm doing fine-ish. I'm a bit all over the place, but I guess that's who I am most of the days. But how are you? How are you doing? What you been up to lately? A Tale for the Ages. Read all the journals in the library. That is the 4 books that we've read, and interestingly, we got that. Wait, we got that today? Oh. Oh, I see. So it's not only the 4 pages. It's also the additional book with the patterns. So interestingly, when I took out the last book in the middle shelf and I got this trophy, I thought we got it specifically for finding that book, but apparently no, it's for reading all of the journals, including the previous 4. All over the place? Do I need a bucket to collect your parts? Well, you would need a rather big bucket for that. But no, thank you. But I'm pretty sure that most players got this trophy for finding this hidden book with the patterns and not for reading one of the other journals. Even though I did greatly enjoy reading those journals, and in the case of some of them, we actually needed to read them to get specific hints that helped us solve puzzles on Myst Island and uncover the books linking to different ages. So it's not like you can skip those journals. You don't necessarily need to read them, but again, when you start the game, you don't know that. And that's why when I started reading one of them and it didn't really give me any specific information that I could use in the puzzles, I assumed that I can just go on and return every now and then and read another journal every time when I return to Myst Island. But as it turns out, you do need some hints and some information from them. And it's really fun to read them. I really enjoyed learning about the world from the father's perspective. Even though I think some of the journals were written by the brothers, at least one. Torturous implements. Activate the cage in Ashenar's hidden room in the mechanical age. So there it is. It mentions Ashenar, and so it's obvious that it is his room and his chamber. That's something I mentioned, how the description of the trophies can help figure out which brother was where in different ages and which areas belong to them. Dark secret. Oh no, dark secrets. Find the black ship's fabric. No, interestingly here it doesn't tell you the specifics, but I think that was in Sirius's room, if I'm not mistaken, in the age with the lighthouse. Man of tongues. Listen to Ashenar's chants in the Channelwood age. Yes, again, this trophy actually helps figure out again which brother is which, but that was something I mentioned as well. Even though I have to admit, I'm not sure if I figured out that he was really trying to learn the Tree Dwellers language because of the information that was given in the game, or the hint that the title of this trophy gave me. Even though I might be misinterpreting this, I really thought because of the title that he was learning the languages. Oh yes, I'm going after trophies once again. And here we have the last. Now, I will be honest, my idea was that in every age there will be a hidden detail. So we have one in the mechanical age with the fortress, we have one in the age with the lighthouse, we have one in Channelwood, that is the tree houses. So the fourth age, which would be the one with the camera puzzle in the beginning and then the subway, I thought there would be something there to look at. Apparently I was right in my logic, but wrong when it comes to this game, because indeed 3 of the ages have a specific trophy linked to them, so the pattern was there. But the last trophy is Mystical Origins. Input September 30, 1993 on a display on the island of Myst. Now I always say that I don't like spoiling parts of a game, but I would have not figured this out. I'm pretty sure about that. What this is a reference to is the original release date of Myst. I'm pretty sure. I know Myst was released in 1993 originally. And why this is a tricky trophy? Because on PlayStation it wasn't. The PlayStation port released years later. Now I'm not sure about the September 30th part, so let me actually look at it. It says that indeed it released in September. Wikipedia actually says September 24th, but it's around that time, so maybe the 30th is the original release. I'm not sure, but I guess we will have to go and see what that does. Now I do like how the description doesn't give away what you have to do exactly, because it says input this date on a display on the island of Myst. So we know it has to be on the main island, but we don't know what kind of a machine has a display. It doesn't tell the player the exact location. It gives the date, which is nice, because to be perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure most players would not figure this out, especially those who didn't play the original back around the time it released. I mean, this is the original, but those who weren't around back then might not know when the game released. And as much as it is a fun idea to input the date of the release of the game in the game into a machine, it's a quite wild requirement for a trophy. So I'm pretty sure most would have just missed this. But let's give it a try. Mystical Origins. Let's see what kind of mystical origins we can find here. Also, we have 5 silver, 9 gold and 5 bronze trophies. How would you look at that? Actually, I'm curious, what is my level? Level 341. Ho 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 ho. All of these gold trophies got my level quite high up. Happy about that. So where can you input this? You might wonder. You might indeed wonder. where is a, let me quote it, a display, it said. Well, you can find a display where you can input dates right here. It was actually required for one of the puzzles, but I have to admit I sure did not think about inputting this date. Alright, so we have to go September. Okay, that's good. 30. Ah, there it is. And where's the last one? Because I can't see it. I think it's there it is. Oh no! You stop that! Can't see in this dark. Here it is. I saw it for a moment. So I don't know the exact hour, so let's go with noon. So we need 1993. Let's see. Mystical origins. And there it is. An elegant mystery. Sure is. I honestly thought there would be some sort of a special constellation here, but I don't see anything. Let's see, maybe earlier that day. Doesn't seem like it. Like this, perhaps? It's odd that I clicked on this button first, but nothing happened. Hey, come on, where are you? I know you are supposed to be somewhere here. It seems there is a larger image, and if we change the daytime, it just goes horizontally, scanning through it. But I honestly don't see any special hidden design here, even though the developers could have hidden anything here, like a Myst logo or an Easter egg. But honestly, I don't see any such thing. Let's try the 24th, because that is cited as the release date on Wikipedia. Again, nothing special. So maybe this wasn't necessarily a real Easter egg in the game back in the day. It was more like a fun idea that someone added to the trophy list of this re-release, and it doesn't really give you any sort of reward within the game, but you get a fun little trophy for it. And if it is your last one, then also the platinum of this lovely game. So let's get out of this machine. And back into the library, because now we can roam free within the walls of this library, and also the many worlds contained within its books. Isn't that lovely? In a way, this game is about writing. It's about exploring the worlds that people create by writing words on pages, and also creating those yourselves. When you pick up a pen or a pencil or spill ink on the white pages. That is a rather lovely idea, and I do like it as someone who is a sort of wannabe writer. So I have to say I greatly enjoyed this game. And I think it is time to save it for one last time. Even though I'm not sure if there's any point to it. I mean, if I overwrite my old save, I won't be able to look at the endings. So maybe I will create a new one, which is kind of a final one. Can we write complete, perhaps? Come on there. Yes, there's the E. Complete. There you go. Let's save it. We have plenty of save slots. How many do we actually have? One, two, 3 by 5. That's 15. We have 2 memory cards. That's 30 save slots. I think that's more than enough. With that, we finished Myst, the original one. And we have all of the trophies. We got this one, which shows actually the chair in which we sit in to input the numbers. And here we get the platinum. Elegant Mystery, which shows... Oh, it actually shows Myst Island, but not just any version of it. It is the map that we can look at hanging on one of the walls of the library. And it's actually part of the tower rotation system, so it has the different buildings highlighted with the marker switch is activated, because that is how the buildings show up. Originally, when you start the game and all the marker switches are off, if you look at this map, it will not show any of the buildings, but as you turn them on one by one, they appear like this. Really nice detail. Unlock all trophies in Myst. Indeed we did. 21 trophies earned. We played through Myst. And with that, I am level 342. That's how much a platinum is worth. And if I'm not mistaken, then the remake of Myst will be releasing tomorrow. So, if you ever want to watch me play through the remake in gorgeous graphics and so many updated features, then I guess I'll add it to my Chrome wishlist. But for now, I am happy that I was able to complete this game and experience it. I have to say that I mostly understand why it became such a successful game, why it was such a big deal back in the day, because as much as I talked about during my previous streams how Myst is a nice example of innovation when it comes to the technology behind video games, it also created so many lovely puzzles and ideas and made a really fun interactable world with a rather compelling story. So it's not only the 3D graphics that made it stand out. Now, I'm not saying that these puzzles never existed before, because point and click games existed before Myst. As far as I know, the developers of Myst, Cyan, they created games before this one. They were in black and white, however. But this game was different in a way because thanks to the 3D environment, the colors, the sounds, it was somewhat realistic. I know it sounds silly today, but if you look at this image here, you know what you're looking at. And back in the game, especially with really early consoles, that was not the case. Most of the time you just had to kind of use your imagination to see how a single pixel is a person, or a trap, or a landmine, or a book. It could be anything. Maybe the text helped you, maybe there was a hint, or maybe you had to turn to the manual of the game that explained what you were looking at. And this game was different in many ways. It really nicely incorporated books into its design, and I think Myst is in a way a visual representation of how when you open a book and start reading it, in a way you fall into it, much like the main character of this game. You get invested in its world. You want to learn about it. And that's how I felt when I was reading the journals in this game. The retelling of stories by someone else. Which is pretty much what happens when you are reading a book. You get to imagine worlds that someone created, that someone describes. And all the puzzles, all the snippets of information that you get, it's rather intriguing trying to put together the tale that is not in the forefront of the game. I did miss certain parts of the story in the beginning, and in a way I was worried that I won't fully understand the ending. But the game actually allowed me to think about what I discovered at the end and make a choice. And that was really fascinating, because all of a sudden, instead of solving puzzles, I was faced with a decision. I had to decide what to do, which would ultimately lead to an ending. And it went from a point and click puzzle game to kind of a mystery, almost like a murder novel, because you don't know who's lying, you don't know what's true. You're listening to the two brothers and trying to make sense of what you've seen and what you've uncovered of the past throughout the ages on your adventure. And that's really nice. And you also get the chance to go back if you want and really note down everything that you might have skipped over or missed while you were focusing on the puzzles. No, it was the time to look for the story. And that's impressive that the game pulled that off. It really worked like a book in a way. It told you many things, not in text, but in visuals most of the time, because video games are an audiovisual medium, and at the end the game kind of asks you, what do you think based on all that you've seen, and you have to start thinking, and looking at your notes with all the puzzle pieces and bits of information won't help you. You will have to start thinking about the characters, and that's honestly impressive, because in many puzzle games there is a story, but it's kind of there as a placeholder to get you from one puzzle to another. Here, as much as most of the game is spent with solving puzzles and looking for clues about the puzzles, there is actually a story hidden in the details, and at the end it gets to be in the focus for a bit, even if just for the ending. And I think if someone just chooses a book randomly and doesn't really think too hard about which one would be the right choice, it can still be interesting. It can still provide a surprise. And it certainly did surprise me, even though I did think about my choice a bit. And then it's different for everyone, because there are actually 3 options you have, as much as one is really cleverly hidden in plain sight, even mentioned but kind of ruled out as the bad choice. And again, the developers were rather clever about how they went about this game, because they presented information in smart ways. They wanted the players to think in a specific way, feel about characters in a specific way, and it's not as obvious, and it's not breaking the world. They just put certain bits of information in more obvious areas. They presented them in the spotlight, but if you looked around, you might have noticed that there's more to the characters of these 2 brothers. And in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if the developers wanted most of the players to discover that Sirius was bad and feel kind of clever, have a certain sense of success, that they figured it out. This is the twist, and then they choose the other brother, Eknar, and they get an ending that is definitely not a good one, and feel a bit silly afterwards, like I did, and then dig deeper and try the other endings and find that the good choice was there all along. But everyone warned us not to pick that. So overall, I have to say it's a wonderfully interesting game. I'm pretty much done with it, so I won't be returning to it anytime soon, I think. I might look at Riven in the future, or the remake, but at the end of the day, personally, I'm happy that I played through this game and I got through this game. I did get some help from my viewers, and I certainly did get stuck on a few puzzles. But given how old this game is and how difficult old games can be, and the fact that I'm not at all good at point and click games, I am kind of happy that I was able to solve most of the puzzles. And even with the ones where I got stuck, I did make some progress. I did figure out most of the parts to them, but there was one tiny piece missing that was needed to solve them, and I had my wonderful viewers to guide me towards that one piece and let me progress further. So I want to thank everyone who watched my playthrough of this game. It was rather fun. I can only recommend if you like these kind of point and click adventure games. I would say that this one mostly works with reasonable logic. There aren't crazy ideas that you have to come up with to solve puzzles. The solutions are often rather straightforward. Actually, I often overcomplicated them and thought that they were more complicated than they were. The one advice I would give to anyone who wants to try this game out is not to be afraid to make mistakes and try everything. This is not a game that punishes the player for trying different things. Quite the opposite. It encourages interacting with whatever you can find and figuring out what they are for, what you can do with them, whether or not they are related to a puzzle, and if yes, then what the player can do with them to solve a certain puzzle in that area. So, with that said, I hope that I was able to make this playthrough fun to watch and do justice playing through it. I'm not necessarily sure. I did overlook a few parts, but again, it's a learning experience, and that's why I say that if you pick it up, don't worry when there's a button, just press it, see what happens. But now I think it's time to rate someone. I know this stream was a bit shorter than usual, but well, we finished the game, and I can't exactly do more with it. So let's see, whom shall we raid? I think we are going to raid Elier, who is playing Yakuza Kiwami 2. Now, I do not know much about the Yakuza games, but as far as I know, the Kiwami series is actually the remakes of the original Yakuza games. So Yakuza Kiwami 2 should be the remake of the second Yakuza game. But let's ask the professionals. So if you're interested, then ask Elior themselves. Their stream title says first playthrough, no spoilers, so please do not share any spoilers. Let them have a good time in that game and enjoy whenever they get stuck, even though Yakuza is not necessarily a game in which you can do that. But hey, you can get beat up pretty badly. And with that said, I thank you for joining me today. I will be back on Friday with more Silent Hill 2 remake. And who knows, maybe we will get closer to finishing the game. Maybe under 40 hours. We'll see. Until that, have a nice evening. And as always, good night.